Akashi has asked me a few questions, and I'm just going to answer them one by one. Firstly, how did astral projection impact or help your life? Well, it impacted my life, and it started making me think that there's more to life than just the physical. First and foremost, it made me realize that there may be some kind of connection between all human beings, and therefore learning a bit more about the way that we think can actually help us and also the individuals around us, because there may be some kind of overlap with the way in which thinking works. Maybe we are all little cells in a massive brain, and that one brain could be allegorically God, the God of human consciousness throughout the whole wide world. As far as did it help my life? Well, what do you mean by my life? Okay, did it provide me with money? Did it provide me with a girlfriend? Did it provide me with health? No, it didn't provide me with any of these things. What do you mean by your life? What it did is it made me think about life in a different way, and it did make me, for a substantial time, believe that consciousness is immortal and it cannot be properly destroyed. Maybe it's a form of energy in its own right. These were hypotheticals, but they were still important values which I started to adopt as a result of having had astral projection experiences and also meeting entities when I was doing astral projection. They made me think that there is a afterlife, so to speak, that we could all kind of like either go to or we're somehow a part of. Was that comforting? Well, kind of, but also kind of not, because if you meet our souls in this world, are they going to be our souls in the next world? And are they going to be after you if they haven't grown up enough, you know what I mean? Or are you going to be after them if you haven't grown up enough? Is there going to be a whole politics in whatever the afterlife is, if that is actually what it was that I was experiencing and not just some kind of telepathic hallucination? I don't know, it's difficult to say. So I think it's just like with everything else of a vaguely occult nature, it raises more questions than it provides answers to. Then the next one, what were your two best astral projection experiences you've ever had so far? Well, the first one was when I actually had my first proper conscious exteriorization after 2 years worth of practice, and I actually realized it's truth. I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. I'm outside of the physical. I'm in my hallway. It feels strange. Everything is illuminated by this blue and yellow light. There are no shadows, and I can't touch anything. I put my hand on the banister of the stairs, and it went right through, and that was weird. And then I had an experience in which I was out of myself, and I had a conversation with other people who were also out there, and that was very strange. It was peculiar. And I also had one in which I went to see a friend of mine. He didn't know I was into astral projection at all or anything vaguely occult, and I created this visualization in my meditation that I was grabbing him by the collar and shouting, "You must work harder." And 9 months later, he says, "I had this really weird dream when you grabbed me, by the collar of the shirt, and you shouted at me, 'I must work harder.'" And I thought, that happened. Same time of year he was talking about and all the rest of it. So it was real, that happened. That proved to me from personal experience that there's something interesting about these particular experiences. So there's something going on there. Precisely what it is, I don't know. None of us can know. All we can do is say what we've experienced and explain some of the traditions which other people have used to try and generate these strange experiences, and then we got to stop. At that point, we have to stop. Have you ever time traveled whilst astral projecting? Difficult to say. I mean, I've had glimpses of the future coming through to me, a bit like a camcorder being placed behind my eyes, in the position of my eyes, and a few minutes or a few seconds worth of time recorded being played back to me like 5 nights before. Was that through astral projection or another phenomenon? Difficult to say. But that's what really started convincing me that there's something going on there, and I had to find out more. So yes, there is some kind of prophetic something or other which occurs through some forms of altered states of consciousness and dream states. So there is some time travel component to consciousness. We are not bound by time and space. We exist in some kind of like more fuzzy blob. We don't just exist within the physical. This is the way it appears to be. It's very, very weird, and we don't understand it, and we can't understand it. It's just the way the universe is. We got to accept it. and try and find out more through personal experience, and not try and come out with strong truth claims, although I've probably done one within this particular statement or within this particular off-the-cuff video. But don't worry about that. All I can do is explain to you the values or the views which I've developed as a result of having had some strange experiences, and the rest is up to you. It's not up to me, it's up to you. Next question. Have you ever spied or stalked people whilst astral projecting? No. I don't see the point. I just didn't see the point. And also, if you're trying to get outside of your body and you're using negative emotions, how on earth can you get outside your body? Because like, it does things to your physiology, it releases adrenaline and all the rest of that, it stimulates the body and the brain, it wakes you up, brings you back into the physical. It's got to be done tranquil, calm, reverent, prayerful, basically. So again, religious type states of mind are useful if you can do them. Have you ever visited other planets and saw some life forms? No. Straightforward, no. Nor would I see the point, and I don't think there's any point in worrying as to whether there's aliens out there who are trying to control the world, or whether there's other consciousnesses on other worlds, when basically our life down here is hard enough anyway, so why should we worry about outside of the physical world? Have you ever abused your ability of astral projection? Not that I'm aware of, no. I mean, and what do you mean by abusing it? I've used it to go and visit people and try and communicate something to them, and that's it, really. So, and what's the point? You know, what is the point in... I mean, this is something which has some kind of influence, but precisely what influence it has, we don't fully understand how or why or wherefores of it. So how can we then precisely say, well, I'm going to go over and control somebody? Wouldn't that be nice? Bottom line is, we still don't know so much, so we can't really say all that much now, can we? Alright, so there you go. I hope that helps.